What's going on, college hoops heads? This is another rendition of the One and Done podcast. We are doing a one-on-one film breakdown, one-on-one with One and Done. We are here with Utah State point guard Darius Brown II. First of all, Darius, before we get into the film, how are you doing today?
And I'm doing good. Just enjoying my Sunday.
You're enjoying your Sunday, and the season's about a little less than, 2 weeks away now, about November 6th it starts. So, obviously, you're at a new school. You just transferred from Montana State to Utah State, followed your coach, Danny Sprinkle there. We're going to talk about all that. But, yeah, an exciting opportunity for you for sure. So, okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Do you see everything okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I broke this film down essentially based off your finishing and scoring ability, your passing, and then, of course, your defense, given, obviously you just won Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky this past year. So let's start with the scoring. So the thing I found most fascinating when I was going through your synergy film, obviously this is your March Madness game this past year against Kansas State, is the first clip that we started with. According to Synergy, you're in the 89th percentile in points per possession as a pick and roll ball handler. But as I'm going through a lot of your film, you don't even really need the pick you don't really even need the pick and roll to get to your spot to, get to see right there. You on your own did it. So is that something you were always able to do? Just be able to pick your own spot and get there, or?
Well, what happens is usually as a defender, when they hear that a screen is coming, they tend to start looking around, or they tend to rest for a quick second before the screen gets there. So sometimes I have a tendency to just, if I see a sense of relaxation or something on the defender, then I'll leave before the screen and I'll just go. And
you've had
usually that's just a quick first step.
Yeah, of course. So, okay. So this one I actually think was the defense obviously leads to the offensive that ends. And that was one of your games against Weber State. Let me see what I have next up. So, yeah, I suppose my first question for you is, who exactly do you model your game after? You probably get that question a lot.
Well, I mean, I really love I don't know who exactly I like model my game after. Like, I feel like I try to play the right way, however that may be. Like, there's some games where it might be more scoring wise and it's just kind of reading the room and stuff. But I feel like asking another person what my play style would probably be a better, give you a better answer. But who I like watching, I really like watching Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is one of my favorite players to watch and kind of, look at what he's doing, if that answers that.
Would you say, I know you just said you obviously you're your own player, but what about like a Pat Beverly? Similar type, defensive-minded, tenacious, pretty good first step, gets to the basket, and a pretty good spot-up shooter as well.
Yeah, I would say less antics, but yeah, I mean, you can go that route. Like,
okay. Let's see. Again, there you are in transition. Then there you are. Obviously, we talked about the utilizing the pick and roll. You get into your spot up jumper. And also, according to Synergy, you were in the 87th percentile in the dribble jumper. So is that something, I don't want to say it's your go-to, but you definitely, you see in the last few possessions here that, you definitely utilize it well. And then right there, same thing, spot up, dribble jumper. So is that something you've always relied on, or were you more of a catch and shoot guy at some point, or what how did that kind of evolve?
Well, being a point guard, you're always dribbling. So I guess you always have to be a threat at whatever point in time that is. And as a point guard, you're dribbling all the time. And when you're a point guard, you're also at the end of shot clock, it's usually you with the ball in your hands. last 9-10 seconds of a shot clock, flat, anything like that, usually it's you. So I guess that's where the shooting off the dribble comes from, and catch and shoot is just something that you work on all the time, girl. You know, you always have to be able to catch and shoot. That's how people get paid nowadays.
Of course. So, okay. And then again, there's another one. Then it should be going to your passing in a couple seconds. But either way, let's see. I tried focusing on a lot of your film against, obviously I took your March Madness game from Kansas State. I took the Big Sky Championship against Northern Arizona. And then obviously, especially on your defense, I wanted to see the Weber State games and the Eastern Washington games, because I think those two teams alone had 3 or 4 of the guys that made all Big Sky first team.
Yes.
So between obviously Steel Ventures, who's now at Gonzaga, and Dylan Jones, obviously Weber State's a hell of a player, and you yourself, you had Raekwon Battle as a teammate. So, and obviously he's in West Virginia now pending a waiver. So, okay, let's see here. Okay, now here we go into the passing. So, your basically whole career, in terms of a model of consistency, in terms of the assist to turnover ratio, I look basically your years at Cal State Northridge, you're obviously Montana State, and now you're at Utah State, always kind of had the 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Is that just something, I know you obviously just kind of said you obviously take pride in the point guard position and all. So is that just something that always came to you, just being able to take care of the ball essentially?
Well, yeah. I mean, every coach will tell you the same thing, that they love, a player that can take care of the ball. To stay on the floor, you have to be able to take care of the ball, and that is essentially what I try to do, and especially as a point guard. I guess taking care of the ball is, I mean, that's step one to having a good offense, a good team. You can't waste possessions, especially not at this level. Wasting possessions is grade A, quick trip to losing. So that's something I take pride in, and that's one of the things that I like to say is like one of my stronger qualities.
So let's get into some of the passing then, and obviously taking care of the ball. There you are, throwing the alley-oop to Raekwon Battle. And how much easier does it make your life playing with a guy like Raekwon?
Well, obviously in aspect of lobs and stuff like that, the more athletic, the better. I have a little bit more freedom to kind of throw the ball wherever, in different areas. Less athletic, you got to put it closer to the basket. You got to do certain things. But when you're playing with, people as athletic as Raekwon or anything like that, then like I can get away with some I don't want to say bad passes, but questionable lobs. And, sometimes he can make me look good in that aspect. So.
And then again, here is, excuse me, some of your film from Kansas State in the March Madness game. So this is one of the plays I wanted to break down with you. I actually had it on a timer freeze frame for a few seconds. So the first thing I noticed is that more often than not, you were usually the guy on Montana State throwing in the inbound passes. And I'm always of the philosophy that I'm having my best passer that could read the floor the best always make, like, if I never understood when, like, the Phoenix Suns, for example, wouldn't use Chris Paul to be their inbounds guy. I never understood it. So I think that's, a tip of the cap to you from Coach Sprinkle, that you were more often than not almost always the guy throwing in the inbounds passes. So I suppose my question is, I see in this March Madness, I believe this was right after timeout as well, you have 2 shooters coming both to the corner in number 11 and number 25, and you end up making the pass down here to the big man. Was that a play? Like, was that by design, or did you just see, the big man has a mismatch, let me get it to him rather than one of the shooters?
Well, it's kind of a keep your options open type thing. So
Okay.
The thing with Kansas State is that they switch everything. So they tried to keep Noel, their point guard, on the perimeter. So they practice a lot of switching. So any type of ball screen or off ball screen, whatever, they switch everything. So, and they like to put the big on the guy taking the ball out to make their job a little bit harder or better, anything like that. But obviously, the way I'm looking at this is he's shading a little bit to the corner, like he's trying to take away the corner more than the basket. So usually when you're taking out the ball, you get more defenders that are trying to take away the basket. So basically, I figured a ball fake, and then you see a guard. All I needed was great to just seal the guard behind, and it'd be an easy pass and finish. All I needed was to maybe throw a little ball fake to get him to jump the opposite way. Then Great did a good job sealing the guard for an easy layup.
He being Naquin Tomlin, the guy defending the inbounds pass.
Say that one more time.
You said you wanted to get him to basically bite on the fake. Is that Naquin Tomlin, the guy, the big man covering the inbounds pass?
I believe so. Yes, that was my job, was to get him to bite, and he was just even a little bit, just his hands, just something, just with my eyes, just get him to bite a little bit to give me a half a second of time to get that pass through to Great.
Okay, so then let's see how this play plays out. So again, I put on freeze frame for a couple seconds. You end up going straight to the big man down here rather than the shooter. So that's exactly how we had it play out. And then I obviously just am putting in some of your inbounds passing because I was impressed with, the ability. I think scoring off in inbounds is one of the tougher ways, because obviously only utilizing half the court. You're essentially using just the right outside the perimeter. So, but, you made it work more oftentimes than not. I mean, obviously some of them off the timeouts, so some of them are design plays. But, okay, then right here, you're stuck out of the double team, and you still find a way to get to the big man for an easy basket. Again, obviously we talked about you utilizing the pick and roll. There you utilize it to get the assist, essentially. Skip pass to the corner. And I suppose my next question would be for you. How do you think this is going, just overall, you're going to be able to transition into Utah State? I mean, obviously it's going to be a similar system given it's the same coach you played for at Montana State, but you're going to be playing up in conferences. Obviously you play San Diego State twice a year. You're going to be playing Boise twice a year. New Mexico has, those two great guards in Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr., two sons of pros. So, I mean, are you looking forward to, obviously, that challenge of playing up in competition?
Yeah, of course. And that's the reason I'm here. You want to play at the highest level. And for my last year, it was time, take a jump, and coaching staff believes in me. I have a great relationship with them. So it just made it really easy to make this choice. And I'm really excited to make a jump and play in the Mountain West.
Okay, and I believe Mountain West was better than some of the power conferences in terms of like KenPom numbers last year. I believe they've obviously gotten I think 4 bids in March Madness each of the last 2 years, and obviously your Utah State team this upcoming year, they were one of them last year. So hopefully, we're going to have the opportunity to see you again in March this year. And then same thing, pass to the big man. That's obviously a basket 99 times out of 100. So. And then the next, again, few plays are going to be some of your passing again. You generate a ton of 3-pointers for your teammates. But again, I'm waiting to get to your defense because, again, you won Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. So there was a whole bunch of, obviously, switchability that I saw on your defense that I wanted to discuss, and here we go right now. So let's see. Here you are down low against Angelo Allegri, who Allegri. Yup, excuse me. He played, I believe, training camp with the Charlotte Hornets this past year. So, and he also made Big Sky first team. So here you are in the post defending him. He has a few inches on you, but here you are, just keep fighting, keep battling. He's trying to do whatever he can, swim moves to get around you. He's not able to do it. I mean, you could tell by how your body's squared that, you get post position on bigger players. And I do point that out in a few clips later on. And again, this is the type of shot he has to take at the end of the shot clock, a 30-footer where, he didn't really have to stand much of a chance. So, Is that something you take pride in, always, trying to defend the other teams, either one of their best players or their best player, even if there's a size mismatch?
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, obviously, the coaches make the scouting report, and I go wherever they feel I'm best needed, whether that's the point guard or the 2 guard, 3 guard. I'd like to think I'm pretty versatile defensively, and unless the size is completely, just a lot bigger than me, then I should be able to guard it. So I do have a lot of versatility in the switching department, as far as switching with, even in the Big Sky, even maybe with a couple fours, but obviously with the Mountain West, we won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I was gonna say
so
I have a few clips of you literally covering fours. So
yeah, so I mean, it's yeah, I like to say versatility is a big thing, because I mean, all it is strength, and just and angles and position. That's all it is. If you do your work early, then it's a lot easier. Because if you're off the ball and you rest, then, for instance, like that last clip, Allegri would have been able to steal me in low, and then if he gets low enough, then it doesn't matter how good of defense I play. He's bigger than me. He can get a shot up. I'm not going to block him. I believe I have like 9 career blocks.
and you still won defensive player of the year, so that's a testament to how good you
Yeah.
are at every other aspect on the defensive end.
Yeah.
So okay, so again, March Madness game against Kansas State. Here you are helping out on the double. And I believe, I can't see number, that looks like Marquise Noel, who's obviously now on a two-way with the Toronto Raptors. And again, one of the most dangerous shooters in college basketball last year. So here you are helping out the double, and then boom, you get over there, no issue, end of the shot clock. He makes it, but you made his life difficult defending it. And
Yeah, that was tough. Tough. He was, probably the best player in March Madness last year, and
yeah,
took the country by storm. And there's only so much that we were able to do, especially when you're shooting that deep and end of the shot clock. You get a good shot up. You got to live with some of the tough ones.
and then here you go again, covering Angelo Allegri from Eastern Washington. Then you switch. Then you switch again. I mean, this is just a testament to show the switchability for a guy who's 6'2". You don't see it as often. And then here you are getting the rebound at the end of the play after switching on 3 guys. So, I mean, I know in today's NBA, switchability is like the biggest thing, especially like come playoff time. So, I mean, it's just, you don't see it as often in college basketball. I know you said Kansas State does, and I know you said you guys did it, but it's a testament for a guy who's 6'2" to be able to see how seamlessly you're able to switch on to guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all game plan and scouting. Usually, with last year's team at Montana State, we anytime guards came together 1 through 3, it was an automatic switch, and makes it easier than fighting through ball screens. Sometimes it's too much, so it's just easier to switch. But it's a challenge, and it's one that I look forward to all the time.
So here you are in the Big Sky title game. You're obviously number 10. Let's see. You're covering, it looks like Jalen Cone, who's number 15. He, I believe, was either all Big Sky first team or second team, but he was obviously the focal point of their offense. So here you are again covering him. You get the screen, doesn't matter. The point is you made the shot difficult, essentially. And I know they end up scoring off the offensive rebound, but let's see. I think this is the one. Here's again, I believe, another play where you're covering Jalen Cone. And this is obviously the Big Sky Championship. It's the game to go to March Madness for you. So here you are on Cone, fight through the screen. Again, makes his life difficult, and then you get the rebound. Okay, this is the one I believe I wanted to talk about. Carson Tout, who he's 6'8" or 6'9", I believe. This kind of shows how you're just talking about how you were switchable on 4 men. Yes, he scored, but you gave nothing easy. It's kind of like what you talked about with Marquise Noel in terms of, look, sometimes you got to live or die by it. Sure, he's 6'8", 6'9". He was able to back you down, but nothing easy. Make everything difficult, and that's what I like most about your game on the defensive end, is that you will not give anything easy.
Yeah, that was interesting play because I gambled on that. I wasn't supposed to. We were in like a zone, and then I ended up jumping the gun on that. I tried to gamble, take the pass away, ended up on the 5-man when I shouldn't have. And then when he walked me down, I tried to gamble for the steal. It might be what I'm about to do right here. I try to do it to people, and I usually get it. But I think Tout kind of read it, and then he made a good move and finish.
All right, so let's take a look at this play then. So obviously you're down here in the post. Again, keeping your body square. But, you're, again, making the offensive player's life difficult. Same thing, you're not even letting them get the ball in the post. Is that Tyrese Davis, I believe?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then, again, he gets the ball. You're not even letting him get on the perimeter. And look at the difficult shot that he has to throw up, which obviously results in an air ball at the end of the shot clock. And then, again, getting the steal, getting to the fast break, gets an easy basket. Again, in the post on Tyrese Davis again, and that's an example, again, not exactly of playing the passing lanes, but you just kind of talked about gambling. You just kind of, if you didn't get that steal, he was getting an easy layup.
Mm-hmm. You have to be really confident, obviously, we're never taught to gamble, but obviously if you have confidence in your ability and your quickness, and you're quicker than a defender and things like that, then you can afford to do that if you're going to get it. Like, obviously, like, there's times where there's nothing's 100% guaranteed, but in that aspect and stuff like that, I felt that I was quicker in that position in that time, and I felt like he was being a little lazy with the ball, so I was just able to kind of get around quickly.
Okay, and then let's see. So you are, again, on Tyrese Davis down low. He's standing in the corner. Boom. Offensive foul. Now, here you are again on Allegri. Again, making his life hell. You gamble, but then you recover. So you don't exactly get the steal like we were talking about, but you were able to recover. And again, not giving him that easy layup. Stay on him and, force him to end up passing it out and ends up in a missed shot. And there you are getting the board again. So, okay, so that concludes the film components of this podcast. You guys are going to be seeing this on YouTube, but now we are going to transition into our interview components where, we're going to be asking Darius some questions about, basketball and about life. So be on the lookout for that. That'll definitely be in your podcast feed, wherever, you guys listen to your podcast. We might also be posting it on YouTube as well, in addition to this film session. So you guys can be on the lookout as well.